Hello everybody, thank you guys for joining me for today's video. This is Living History Militaria, and it has been a while. I've been very busy, took a new position at work, so I've been busy with that, also with a 4-month-old now here, so it's been pretty chaotic. But I have a ton of stuff that I have been saving here for a video that I have finally gotten a couple hours of free time here, so I'm going to go ahead and dive right on in to get the big stuff out of the way. Why not? Got right over here, got this awesome uniform right here. This is a named World War II 4-pocket tunic. Hang it up right here. It says named to a Solomon Friedman. His serial number is 32993792. And you can see there, he was from New York City area. And you got some cool collar insignia up here. Got the 3rd Service Command patch right here with some really nice 2-piece felt rank stripes on each side. I forget when exactly this coat is dated. I want to say this is an earlier one. Let's see. But my collector buddy said he couldn't find anybody that was interested in it. So I got this for free, actually. Dated February 7th, 1940. Right there. Also. So, earlier one, also 1941 date on there as well. So, and it also comes with the trousers, too. So, a full uniform named New York guy. Not exactly the area of New York that I collect, but for free, I was very thankful to get this. So, always get a lot of good deals from him. And like I said, he was just, nobody was interested really in it. He didn't get any bids, and it's not something that he wanted to keep. So, off to me. So, very thankful for that. And right underneath that, I found this pretty cool piece of World War I history. I thought that this writing on here was authentically handwritten, but it isn't. It's okay, though. I only paid like $12 for it, because it's a cool piece of World War I history here. It's a book of original sheet music for Faye Foster. This is The Americans Come. And it says, "May the assurance of the love and grateful welcome awaiting him over there cheer and animate the heart of every American soldier and sailor." So, pretty cool. And then it has Faye Foster, New York, May 1918. But some original World War I sheet music. So I thought that was really cool, and then it would look good in like a little frame or something as a background piece. So I snagged that. And it turns out, actually, every other copy of The Americans Come, even with the different artwork on it, all has this same exact text and everything, kind of. So it must have been like a stamp on it. But either way, I thought it was a nice little touch on the cover there. So thought it looked cool. And up next, got this really awesome World War I tunic here. Absolutely beautiful condition. This is a private purchase, and it is also named. Up here we got some medical collar disc insignia in the U.S. And over here we have our I forget which exactly this stripe is called. But some really nice tailor-made patches here. And check out this beautiful 3rd Infantry Division silk patch up here is absolutely gorgeous. The way it kind of reflects the light and everything. Then we got our medical rank over here. Not exactly sure. Forget what his exact rank was, but there was a bit of information from the previous owner. He's a collector on Instagram. The name eludes me right now, but once I find it, I'll put it in the description. 1 uniform, 2 people. You have Howard H. Hammond and an unknown soldier. And then 3rd Infantry Division, he was a staff sergeant. The 6-month service stripe, I believe, is what one of these ones was. And then on the back, Howard was in the 91st Infantry Division. He was a 2nd lieutenant, and he was with a base hospital and a camp hospital. And I put the all the information right here. Howard H. Hammond was from Greensburg, Pennsylvania. He was a medical officer in the 91st Infantry Division, Base Hospital 29 and Camp Hospital 40, Camp Hospital 33. And I did only pay technically $45 for this because I got it with a bunch of, not a bunch, but 2 other uniforms actually. And I got a really good price on a lot of them. So, but just a really beautiful 3rd Infantry Division. So, curious, Mr. Hammond, which his name is stamped right in here, and on the inside of the tunic, somewhere on the inside, there's a tag, and it has H.H. Hammond handwritten on there. So he must have known somebody or something, sold it to somebody who was in the 3rd Infantry Division, and got that. But just a gorgeous private purchase tunic here. I believe this was, can't remember who the manufacturer was. Brolan something? Not sure, but let me see if I can find the tag. Here we go. This was actually in the pocket. Apparently it's a French-made 3rd Infantry Division bullion shoulder patch. Medical Sergeant patch on the right sleeve. 3rd ID Service and Sound stripes on the left sleeve. Medical Corps and U.S. collar disc with screwbacks on the collar. And the name on the pocket and the tag to H.H. Hammond. New York Clothing House was the manufacturer of that one. So pretty cool. Yep, that was all right here in this, and really excited to add this one to my World War I collection because my named 3rd Infantry Division canteen and helmet would look really good, I think, displayed with this. All right, now we're on to the desk. Moving along with World War I items, I guess. I finally got my hands on a U.S. bacon tin. So this would be part of your mess kit. Model of 1916. I think that says S and B. 1918. This one's dated. But kind of hard to see the maker of that. But you can pop open the lid. And I wouldn't recommend keeping your bacon in this nowadays, but, you know, you do you. So, I got a good deal on this, so happy to add a bacon tin. I think that'll display pretty cool with the rest of the World War I stuff. So, I also have a really nice World War I service cap right here. This one has crossed cannons for artillery. And this one is named on the inside to Perry Boyer. I have some of his information. I can't remember exactly which field artillery he was with. I have the information somewhere. I just haven't gotten the chance to write it down on a tag yet. So, but minus a couple of moth holes up here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool looking cap. And then right up here, got another World War I helmet. This one is in really good shape. It's got a little bit of a, looks like some paint scuffs up on the top of the helmet. But a lot of the original sand texture still to the outer shell. The rim is all in one piece. This is an M1917 Doughboy. Let me go ahead and flip it inside out, upside down, whatever you want to call it. The heat stamp here is ZD52. There on the back has the complete chin strap and liner. Everything is still in one piece. And there's even a name written on the inside tag. Looks like it says Madsen, M-A-D-S-E-N. Madsen, that's my guess. So, but the chin strap is pretty soft, but it's still in one piece. And the inside of the liner is still in really good shape too. All the leather is still pretty pliable. It's not dry rotted or anything. And I think I paid $100 for it. So really nice, complete M1917 Doughboy. And over here, also got from my older collector buddy, the same one that gave me the named uniform there at the beginning of the video. I got this as a freebie from one of our transactions. It's a field jacket hood for your M1943. It's got the tag right there. And this one, somewhere on the inside of it, I forget exactly, there it is. It is stamped with a laundry number, N6124. And you can see the size there, 44 to 48. Still has a stamp on that, so pretty cool. This is it's in good condition. Still has the button and the drawstring on it, so that was pretty cool. I had originally bought these trousers from him. These are from a Syracuse veteran. The original stamp on the inside there, and the laundry number here, Y0603. There's only a handful of guys that had Y0603 according to the enlistment records, and one of them is from a Syracuse guy, and that is where my buddy got this from, was from an estate. So, oh, there's a stink bug in there. Pink! So, nice pair of locally owned trousers. So, got a lot of Syracuse stuff up here, so I'm really excited to get into that. Maybe we'll do that next. Found a couple of cool things on eBay, actually, out of all places, pertaining to local history. This is a little souvenir, like postcard booklet from California, and it is dated October 10th, 1945, from the stamped U.S. Navy, too, up there. And it is addressed to Miss Evelyn Lewis of 95 Washington Street. And this is... it's pretty cool. There's nothing written on the inside, but it is... still has all the postcards and stuff on the inside of it, and it's all pictures of Oakland and Berkeley, California. So, but I got it because it is addressed to somebody in the next town over to me, only about 10-15 minutes away. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I also found this one from the same seller. This is a envelope dated May 14th, 1942, stamped Brooklyn, New York, from the U.S. Marine Barracks. And this is addressed to a Mrs. Frank Wentz, and this is a Syracuse address. And I can't read who it's from. It looks like it says Private something, maybe R. Wentz, and then Marine Barracks, Naval Yard, Brooklyn, New York. No letter inside. It was just the envelope. And then there's a really cool little World War II cartoon right there. So I thought that was pretty neat. Just the envelope, but it'll display pretty nicely. My buddy actually got me this for my birthday back in September. Little dummy lemon grenade. He knows I like to collect military stuff, so he said he got this back in the day at one of the surplus stores, and he found it. So this is going to be one of my new paperweights here for the desk. This is pretty cool. Got a World War I Marine Corps dog tag addressed to a Earl McClellan of Fulton, New York. And there is his serial number right there. And he enlisted in Syracuse on July 4th, 1918. And he was born July 13th, 1898. And you can see he was Paris Island to Quantico, and then he was with Company B of Machine Gun Battalion of the 5th Brigade. And then he was over in France for a little bit. So pretty cool. And then, of course, here's the dog tag with his serial number on the back. So that's a really cool piece of local history. And then right up here in this dish, we'll do the little bracelet first. Right here, I got this sterling silver bracelet, ID bracelet to Willard L. Morgan Jr. There is his service number right there. I have his background info. And this was where he lived, was in Kenwood, which is over in Oneida, New York. So, really cool. This is like an average size ID bracelet. I think this weighs 19 grams. Now this one, on the other hand, is huge. This one weighs 65 grams. And just compared to that one, the chain is huge. This thing weighs a lot more, and this is too. Ralph B. Geyer. There's his serial number. This one's sterling silver also. And it's got the clasp right on here. The little J-hooks. And he lived in Fulton County, New York. Right here, I got this cool set of dog tags to two brothers who lived in Syracuse, Kenneth Axton and Charles Axton. I originally picked up these two from Kenneth, and on the way home, the guy had texted me and asked me, he's like, "Hey, did I give you the right ones?" And I said, "Yeah, Kenneth Axton, why?" And he says, "Well, I just found this one, and was wondering if I gave you the wrong one on accident." So, got his brother, Charles. So, a really cool set of Syracuse brothers and their dog tags right here. So, really excited to have those. And then in the dish that those were sitting, this is a World War II era United States Army medical department. It's like almost like a little saucer, a little dish. This would be for your officers' parties, not just your typical mess hall stuff. But if we flip it over, check this out. Syracuse China, right there. Syracuse used to make their own china. You can sometimes still find some of them in use to this day. I found a couple coffee mugs up in Maine that were made by Syracuse China. But looking at the dating charts, X1 or X-1 dates 1941/1942, I believe. So I think it was 1942. What a really cool piece of Syracuse and World War II history. So I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff back in the dish real quick. All right, and then up next I got a bunch of World War I era pictures. I can't remember what I got these with, but the guy threw these in for free. There's a large group or company photo. Bunch of guys sitting in rowboats. Looks like they're on like a shore of a river or something like that. And on the back it says after the bridge had been completed. So pretty cool. A lot of guys in there. Also got this little one. I actually had purchased this one. This is two guys sitting on what looks like a Mark V land ship, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's a World War I tank. One of the big old land ships. Two guys sitting on it, and then almost looks like there's a platform, like a sniper's nest or something up there in that tree. It's just, this picture had a lot going for it, and I really liked it. So, nothing on the back, but a really cool World War I picture. Got a soldier portrait. U.S. Marine, maybe? I'm not exactly sure. But there's a stamp on the back. This is addressed Mrs. Nancy something. Cambridge, Ohio. And then there's a couple of numbers stamped on the back. So, Ohio. If anybody's an Ohio collector or something, message me. If anybody is a collector and would Ohio collector and wants this, I'd be willing to let it go to somebody who specializes in that. So let me know. Also got another soldier pick. Looks like U.S., but it's a photo postcard, like an actual photo on a postcard. And then it just says World War I in uniform on the back. So, pretty cool. More of a grizzled looking shot. Got another tank here. I think these are the smaller, like the the smaller French tanks, I believe. Not exactly sure. I'm not sure if these were the one-man things or whatnot, but looks like they're in some sort of a parade. Or going down a street of people. Got a pretty cool, I believe this is German or Austro-Hungarian group shot of what looks like maybe officers. But here's the back. Definitely cannot read any of that. So, but it's a really cool shot, and it's got some sort of inscription. And then this one came with that one. So I'm assuming maybe it's the same guy here on the left. And then some more writing right there. So, pretty cool. Up next, I think I would consider this a bucket list item for me. I've always wanted some autographs, because I do have quite a few autographs in my collection, of some of the original Band of Brothers. I always thought that would be awesome to have. And I finally got my chance with this, which right here is Brothers in Battle, Best of Friends by Wild Bill and Babe Heffron of Easy Company of the 101st. And right here it came with a certificate of authenticity. This is a first edition printing of the book, and it is signed by Bill Garnier and Edward Heffron. So right here, right on the inside of the cover, cover, Wild Bill Garnier and Edward Babe Heffron. So this is a really special book to have. So it'll fit in well with the autographs, the World War II books that I collect. So I'm very excited to have this. And the certificate of authenticity makes it a little bit better too, I think. All right, the pile is getting smaller. Up next, I have this interesting group of medals, not necessarily medals, but badges and pins, and I also have this massive stack of letters, all World War II from 1942 to 1945, and they're all dated to the same, or addressed to the same person here in Syracuse, who then moved to Jamesville, which is in the same area. I haven't counted how many. There's between 30 and 40 letters in here, but it is a massive stack. And some of them, the letters on the inside are written on hospital paper, which is kind of interesting. I don't think these ones have... No, they don't have the headers on them, but the person who wrote them was Private First Class Pearlie H. Wilson, and there is his Army serial number right there, and he was with the 108th Infantry Regiment. And some of these, not all of these were written on hospital paper, and then the hospital that I had found one of the letters was written from, I had looked it up, and the hospital was said to have been like a center for PTSD and shell shock, so from soldiers in the Pacific, because I believe all of these came from California and were sent over to Long Island. So there's a big old stack of those, and then I got these in here, which I don't know if they're related or not, but there's a pair of crossed cannons, an artillery badge, and then you got this very massive qualification badge with rifle, carbine, bayonet, submachine gun, and machine gun. So I am not sure. I don't think it says Sterling on the back anywhere. So I'm not even sure if this is World War II. I think it is because of the clasp right here, this pin. Not 100% though, but I was told that these came with the letters. So, and then there's a pair of Captain Sterling insignia right here. So, not sure about those, but I was told that they came with the letters. I'm in the process of reading all of the letters and actually transcribing it down on paper. So, hopefully I'll have a video just on those letters very soon. All right, up next, I got a World War II garrison cap. This one is beautifully named and inscribed here. It's got the serial number here, or the laundry number. Camp Crowder, is that M.O., is that Montana or Missouri? One of the two, something like that. Camp Crowder. And then on this side, this is Carl S. Seaman of the 348th Engineer Battalion, E Company, and he was also, I guess, part of the 233rd Engineer Combat Battalion, from what his obituary said. That was what the information was on that. So he was from Steuben County, New York, which is a little bit, I believe, south, but that was a cool find. I like the inscription on the inside. Still very legible. And then apparently it's a size 7 1/4. So, pretty neat. Found this certificate on eBay for a couple of bucks. This is a interwar certificate, actually, for the ROTC to Harold Golding, who completed basic infantry in the senior division. This is from 1928 to 1930, and he was given this right here at SU, Syracuse University, on the 10th day of June, 1930. So I thought that was pretty cool. Kind of a unusual find, but I thought it was pretty neat that it had Syracuse University on there. Also got this paper grouping right here belonging to Victor Francis Del Giorno. And I think this was report for induction. Yep, right there. Per induction examination only at the Jefferson Street Armory, which is down in Armory Square in downtown Syracuse, which is cool. There's the original envelope, Selective Service, dated March 1st, 1944. Has a letter about the Navy recruiting station. This is from Buffalo, New York. And you will probably be inducted into the United States Naval Forces within the next few weeks. And then it has this big piece right here giving a couple of different locations of the naval recruiting centers. And this is for radio technician training, so that was pretty cool. The opportunity to become a radio technician in the U.S. Navy is now open to qualified inductees. Some of the most fascinating and colorful scientific developments of the war, developments which not only hasten the day of victory, but also indicate broad horizons of new opportunity in a commercial enterprise when the war is over. I thought that was pretty cool. So, picked up this grouping for a couple of bucks also on eBay. So a lot of local history here. So I'm very excited. And up next, got another Syracuse group. I guess these are somehow all related. The Frank Mara tags, these are all the same person. I think that these are just misprints, a couple of them, because you can see this one has Mara Frank A. Jr. This one has Mara Franca Jr. And then this one has Frank S. Mara, but it has the same numbers as the rest of them. So I think that these two were typos, possibly. And those two were his actual ones. Not quite sure. I think these are Korean War era. That's what I was told. Same thing with this one right up here for Samuel G. Williams III. There's a Marine Corps medal that came with the grouping. It's not named or numbered or anything. A couple of wool patches, Marine tie clip, Eagle Globe and Anchor device, a couple of ranks, a couple of buttons and whatnot. So thought it was a neat little grouping. I'd found the information for Frank Mara, actually, so I do have that saved. But neat little Syracuse grouping. And thrown in for free with that past grouping, my buddy gave me this. It's a whole ration book for the whole family. And these belong to a family that was in Yates County, New York, in a place called Dundee, New York. So there's a whole bunch of them to a whole bunch of different people in the Wortman family. So pretty cool. Some home front items. Kind of not really local, but central New York-ish area. So thought that was cool. Neat little leather ration book. Keep your little tabs and like sugar rations and whatnot, your spare ones down in there. And then this, I think, is the last item that we have to go over, and probably the grand finale. This is really cool. This is a whole information packet on Thomas W. Bud Brolan Sr. Okay, so that is all of his, like, find a grave and his obituary and whatnot. But right here, we have his grouping. He was in the 512th Field Artillery Battalion. And right here we have a whole unit history book on them and their whole service and everything in Europe. So let's check this out real quick. I'm going to try and get that stuff to stay. Jeez. This is a really cool, it's like a 40-page book with a beautiful hand-drawn, and there's Brolan up there in the corner. With this awesome hand-drawn 512th Field Artillery. And then you got all like the divisions and the corps and whatnot that made it up. And then on the inside, there is a foreword from the author. Right? And then right down here, Mr. Brolan wrote this in himself. This is everywhere that he went. Almost like a little diary in here. And some really nice handwriting. Scotland, England, Wales, France, Luxembourg, Belgium, Germany, and Czechoslovakia. So there's a really cool, I haven't read this yet, and I just haven't had the time, but there's the publisher in Germany. So this was probably printed in the occupation period. But a really cool unit history on the 512th Field Artillery. With that, we have a little envelope with a whole bunch of stars on it, and it says patent pictures. This is pretty exciting. I originally got this from my buddy. I get a lot of stuff from my buddy. When I say my old collector buddy, it's usually the same guy. He has a whole picker that goes through estates, and he finds a whole bunch of good stuff, and so he's always finding a lot of cool things, and he knows I like local things. So I'm in contact with him a lot, so that's why I bring him up a lot, because I do a lot of business with him. Originally got this, and this, and then he had messaged me and said he had found an envelope with pictures in it. So this was sent to me in the mail. And check this out. This is just so cool. You got Mr. Brolan sitting right here on a badass U.S. Army motorcycle in his outfit, in his uniform, sorry, not his outfit, right in front of the 602nd Field Artillery Battalion, which apparently I think was a glider battalion, actually. So, but I'm not sure where the headquarters is. But that same picture got printed out and blown up on a slightly bigger picture, or on like a slightly bigger size, and then a real big one here on this, which you can kind of see a little bit more of the detail and stuff, but really cool. So you got him on his motorcycle, or a motorcycle. I don't know if it was his specifically. And then here's Mr. Brolan and his buddy. Brolan's there on the left. Nothing on the back of that one. You got this one right here. This is the picture of Patton. Patton's there on the left. It says on the back, General Patton speaking to the boys of the 512th Field Artillery Battalion. We established a darn good record for ourselves during the war. How cool is that? And then another picture of Patton addressing the troops. Nothing written on the back of that one, but really cool that those were included in there. That's a really neat piece. And then this right here would be the last bit of the grouping, which is an awesome road map of Europe. And it has Private First Class Thomas W. Brolan. And here is his, again, his diary, where he went. August 19th, 1944 to December 16th, 1945. From England all the way to Germany. And check this out. This is really cool. It's one of those fold-out maps. This thing is absolutely huge. If you unfurled the whole thing, it would probably take up your entire bedroom floor. But it's folded in such a way that you can do it in different sections. So this section would fold out first. So I undid this, and that's when I noticed this. And this is handwriting. Train homeward bound. So I decided to unfurl it out. Actually, hold up. I'm going to put this on my floor. There. This thing is absolutely massive. And he marked out, he put a little X over the places, and he mapped it all out. Landed August of 1944 over here near St. Lo, and went down. There's another X down this way, another X down near Le Mans, and then it goes over to Orlan, and where it says the 512th Field Artillery fired first round, and it's a big circle right here on Orleans. I thought that was really cool. And then there's a whole bunch of X's that go up, and then it kind of splits off as you go over into eastern France, and then you got this big zigzag line, and that's the railroad that he took on the train homeward bound. That's what this little key over here meant. So he wrote that in. Just amazing. You could track it all the way back. Sailed out of Portsmouth, England in August, landed in August, and then sailed, and he didn't fill it in. So he was going to, it looks like. Sailed 1940. When? Don't know. But how cool is that? I thought that was really awesome. I don't think that there is anything on the other sections of the map, but you can flip. Like this whole section folds up, And then you can fold out the whole southern end of France right here. So I didn't see anything written or circled here on the southern end of France, so he must have been all north and into eastern France. And it said in his obituary that he was among some of the first soldiers to cross the Rhine into Germany. Take a look at that real quick, and that'll be the end of the video. Let's see. He was. It says in his obituary that he was part of the 204th Field Artillery Group, and he was among the first U.S. soldiers to cross into Germany at the Rhine. Then there's like a weird box, but I have a snapshot of the original. But pretty cool. Well, that is all I have for you guys for right now. I want to thank you guys for your patience and continued support. Like I said, I took on a new job offer at work, so I've been busy with that, and raising a 4-month-old is pretty hectic. Not to mention we got a 5-month-old kitten, so nothing in this house is sacred anymore. But I want to thank you guys again, and we'll see you in the next video, which should be pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, guys.